Hello, NBA fans. Daily news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers show and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give it a like. The Lakers have a new owner, Mark Walter, who intends to build a super team. Rumors are swirling that he will bring in reinforcements to the coaching staff, and one of the coaches who could join the Lakers is Tyronn Lue, who has been approached by the Lakers in the past, but the coach declined the offer. Lakers coach J.J. Redick will have this season to prove he can lead a team to an NBA championship. But Tyronn Lue recently stated his desire to coach the Lakers. For this to happen in 2026, Tyronn Lue will have to terminate his contract with the Los Angeles Clippers, or the franchise could also fire him if dissatisfied with his performance. Therefore, there is a possibility that the new Lakers owner will want to hire Tyronn Lue at the end of next year. Tyronn Lue reveals it's his dream to coach the Los Angeles Lakers, but he rejected their offer after leaving Cleveland Cavaliers. As a big market team, a lot of people would love to be a part of the Los Angeles Lakers at some point during their careers. Head coaches are no different in comparison to players in that regard. Current coach of the Los Angeles Clippers Tyronn Lue has no problem to reveal that he always wanted to coach the Lakers. "I would have loved it. I mean, it would have been a dream come true," Lue told Shannon Sharpe on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Even though an opportunity arrived after leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers, Lue swiftly rejected that offer. NBA champion elaborated his decision. "1. They offered me short years, they offered me 3 years, and I wanted to do 5. I guess because they were trying to tie me to LeBron James. 2. The money was low. Well, I'm saying it wasn't low like for me personally, the money, it was low for the head coach, and for what it meant to everybody else going forward. It's kind of like the Players Association," Lue said. "If you take a bad deal, they're going to give us all bad deals. And so, I just felt for me being a championship coach and being black, I thought it was up to me to make sure I set the standard. If I take a bad deal, then what's everybody else going to get, you know?" Lue also claimed that he wasn't allowed to take care of the coaching staff, like he did when joining Lakers rivals LA Clippers. "I couldn't pick my coaching staff. Well, they wouldn't let me pick my coaching staff for me, and so I had to leave a lot of guys behind," Lue concluded. Lakers fans debate whether they'd trade Austin Reeves for Lauri Markkanen. Utah Jazz star Lauri Markkanen has been the subject of trade rumors for years now, but no deal appears to have ever come close to materializing. With Markkanen shining at Eurobasket 2025, there has again been some chatter about him being on his way out, and a Los Angeles Lakers fan account on X asked fans if they would trade Austin Reeves for him. "Ridiculous. No way. Reeves is untouchable," a fan thinks Reeves should be off limits in any trade. "Yes, without hesitation. 6 feet 11 inches movement without the ball style three-point shooter fits Luka Doncic better than a two-guard who wants to draw fouls off the dribble," another fan would trade Reeves without hesitation. "Yes, but I don't think the Jazz would take that offer, they would want more. Imo, I would 100% do this and not think twice," one fan would do this deal but believes the Jazz wouldn't agree to it. There's a $40M difference in salaries this season. The Lakers would have to give up way more, 4 to 5 players, to match salaries. And even if it was just a 1-for-2 swap, I wouldn't do it, a fan pointed out the salary element here. Lauri has a massive contract, if it wasn't for that, then this would be an absolute no-brainer. Even with the big contract, I think this is a needed upgrade, another fan would do the deal despite the difference in salaries complicating matters. The contracts definitely make this a tough deal to execute. Markkanen will earn $46.4 million in 2025-26 compared to $13.9 million for Reeves. That means the Lakers will have to include more players in the deal, and the likes of Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Jared Vanderbilt would be the likely candidates. The Jazz might be willing to take on Vincent and Kleber as they are entering the final year of their deals. Vanderbilt, though, still has 2 years and a player option left on his contract, and no team would be all too keen on acquiring him at the moment. As for Hachimura, the Lakers themselves might not be interested in packaging him and Reeves in a deal for Markkanen. So, it won't be easy to make this trade. If there were a pathway, though, should the Lakers go ahead? Well, there are pros and cons here. Markkanen struggled in the 2024-25 season, averaging 19.0 points, 5.9 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 0.7 steals, and 0.4 blocks per game for the Jazz. He also shot a career-worst 42.3% from the field, which gives you cause for pause. With how well he'd played the 2 seasons before this last one, though, there is reason to believe this was an aberration. Markkanen put up 24.5 points and 8.4 rebounds per game while shooting 39.5% from beyond the arc for the Jazz from 2022-23 to 2023-24. The 28-year-old has also been on fire for Finland at Eurobasket, averaging 29.0 points and 8.0 rebounds while shooting 40.7% from 3. His shooting makes him a solid fit next to Luka Doncic offensively, and the Lakers certainly could do with his rebounding prowess as well. A potential problem, though, is that Markkanen isn't a good defender. The Lakers struggled defensively against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs, and they'd likely be giving up one of their better defenders in Vincent in this deal as well. So, they'd be significantly weaker on the defensive end if they pull the trigger. Markkanen's contract is a massive one as well as he is entering the first year of his 4-year, $195 million deal. One could argue that the one-time All-Star isn't worth having on that kind of contract with the apron rules that exist today. Reeves is also in line for a big payday soon, as he is set to hit unrestricted free agency in 2026 by declining his player option, but his contract isn't going to be as big as Markkanen's. The 27-year-old is expected to get a deal worth over $30 million a year, which is more manageable. Reeves averaged 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.3 blocks per game for the Lakers in 2024-25. He has improved year after year and has expressed a desire to be a Laker for life, but it will be interesting to see how negotiations pan out between the two sides next summer. Luka Doncic's off-season work has fixed his biggest weakness. The missing half of his game seems to have showed up. Luka Doncic's defense used to be his biggest flaw. That is no secret to anyone who watches basketball. For years, he has dazzled on offense but often disappeared on the other end. He has been known to be slow to rotate, late on closeouts, and sometimes just look checked out on that side of the floor. But that is changing, and fast. Luka Doncic is transforming into a determined defender. This offseason, Doncic has committed to fixing the part of his game that critics hammered most. The result? A more energized, quicker, and focused defender who is finally starting to match his offensive brilliance with real impact on defense. At Eurobasket 2025, Doncic has been putting his defense on display. In their recent game against Poland, he put forth a defensive clinic, shutting down his man with sharper footwork and showing a higher motor. He stayed glued to the perimeter, fought through screens, and displayed the kind of effort and awareness that had often been missing from his NBA games. It was a statement performance, one that sent a clear message: Doncic is serious about defense now. This transformation is not just physical. Doncic has worked hard on his conditioning and lateral quickness, but perhaps even more important is the mental shift. He now understands that being a true franchise leader means showing up on both ends of the floor. It is no longer enough to score and create, defense matters, especially for a team with real championship aspirations. The Los Angeles Lakers have built a team around Doncic with this in mind. Adding a veteran defender like Marcus Smart helps to create an environment that demands defensive accountability. Last season, Lakers head coach J.J. Redick's system tried its best to reinforce those principles. He pushed Doncic to stay engaged for all 48 minutes, now he might finally be able to. During contract talks, Doncic himself even assisted in recruiting Smart once he was bought out by the Washington Wizards, as a chance to improve his own defense. That is not just lip service, it is a sign of a player who recognizes his weaknesses and is determined to improve. If Doncic is able to keep this up, the Lakers do not just have an offensive superstar, they will have a legitimate two-way star capable of carrying the team deep into the playoffs. In an absolutely loaded Western Conference, that kind of player is priceless. There is still work to do. A couple of solid games in the Eurobasket tournament do not erase years of habits, and an NBA season is a grind. But if Doncic can maintain this defensive intensity over 82 games, the Lakers suddenly look a lot more dangerous. Bronny James is building an NBA future that will reward patience. The Los Angeles Lakers guard is inching towards the expectations he set for himself. Before the 2024 NBA draft, Bronny James outlined a clear vision for the type of players that would be benchmarks for him to work towards. The important thing to keep in mind is the time it took for them to truly shine in the league. Guys like Davion Mitchell, Drew Holiday, and Derek White, who excel in their role, get good money and get good playing time from it because they're locked into that role and know what they're supposed to do, Bronny said of his hopeful NBA player comparisons. The expectations were set. The results have not gotten him there just yet, and that is perfectly fine. James needs to be afforded the grace of time. Bronny is not the generational talent that his father, LeBron James, was. There were no labels akin to the chosen one that followed the son of the future Hall of Famer. The Los Angeles Lakers guard can instead aspire to be another story of great player development in the NBA. The long game could define Bronny James' true NBA value. Bronny's rookie season in 2024-25 was not defined by an unexpected breakout. His shortcomings, relative to being the son of an NBA legend, even created some uncomfortable discussions that forced LeBron into the mix. The unfortunate reality for the younger James is that, to some capacity, the Lakers guard will never truly be able to escape his family label. However, that should not be the barometer by which his NBA career should be judged. Bronny has already displayed encouraging signs of growth that one would want to see from a young player like him. The Lakers even thought James looked good enough at Summer League to yank him from the competition before it was fully over for the team. The verdict was that Bronny had shown them enough for further assessments to be unnecessary before their final game of the competition. That is exactly the type of move that should offer hope to Lakers fans everywhere. Bronny James in the 25-26 Summer League. 14.3 ppg. 2.8 rpg. 3.8 apg. 48% fg. In 24.3 mpg. James now finds himself in a position heading into training camp where the young guard can compete for a spot in the 2025-26 rotation. That is a true vote of confidence from the Lakers. Even if Bronny does spend another season without truly breaking out, that should not be cause for any major concern. The comparisons offered by James should serve as reminders of that. Holiday and White both took until their fourth seasons in the NBA to really arrive on the scene in the league. The same can be said for Mitchell, who is finally in a comfortable position for his career with the Miami Heat after this past season. Bronny is about to enter his second year. Lakers fans will be eager to see what the exciting prospect can offer. However, if the history of his desired comparisons tell the story, James will need a bit more time. The 20-year-old has that working in his favor. Former Lakers guard serves painful reminder of Rob Pelinka's biggest mistake. Talen Horton-Tucker is no longer an NBA player, Anders Dreyer. Once a Los Angeles Lakers darling, Talen Horton-Tucker is on his way out of the NBA. That is the same player Rob Pelinka chose to prioritize over beloved role player Alex Caruso. Donata Zerbonas reported, EuroLeague champions Fenerbahce Istanbul are finalizing a deal with 6-year NBA guard Talen Horton-Tucker, sources tell Basket News. Urbonas did clarify in his report that the Horton-Tucker deal is not quite done yet. The former Lakers guard is still leaving himself the opportunity to find a spot on an NBA roster before fully committing to the European move. However, Urbonas noted if that opportunity does not present itself, then Horton-Tucker is fully expected to begin his career overseas. While playing in Europe does still prove a certain level of skill possessed by a player, it is nonetheless a fall from grace for the man who cost the Lakers an infinitely more reliable NBA-level contributor. Alex Caruso continues to be the one that got away from Rob Pelinka. After choosing to retain Horton-Tucker, the Lakers gave him every opportunity to carve out his future with the team. the now 24-year-old never fully repaid the faith that was bestowed in him. Pelinka and the front office were forced to cut their losses while the young guard still had some trade value. Horton Tucker was shipped away to the Utah Jazz as a part of a package for Patrick Beverley, who similarly proved disappointing during his time in Los Angeles. Caruso, who had shown plenty of moments as a reliable and consistent role player for the Lakers during their 2019-20 championship season, exited from the team in the 2021 offseason. The tremendous supporting act found a home in the Eastern Conference, signing with the Chicago Bulls. Caruso was handed a 4-year deal by the Bulls in a rare moment of front office competency from their franchise. The former Laker continued to prove his worth at the NBA level thereafter. After fully establishing himself as an All-NBA caliber defender, the Bulls capitalized on his trade value and sent him to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was there that Caruso played a pivotal role in securing the first championship in Thunder history since relocating. It was the second of his career. Watching Caruso blossom into the quintessential 3-and-D role player in the NBA was not an easy task for fans in Los Angeles. This is especially true considering the Lakers continue to lack roster members built in that exact mold. Not only would Caruso have continued to be a perfect complement to the LeBron James and Anthony Davis timeline in Los Angeles, but the two-way menace would have been equally desirable next to Luka Doncic. The gravity of Pelinka's decision continues to haunt the Lakers.